Welcome to the show, everybody, as we are on the eve of the biggest protests of Donald Trump's second term, probably the biggest protests of Donald Trump's presidency. We have top Trump staffers admitting Trump's running away from his own policy. Scott Bessant, the Secretary of the Treasury, was answering questions this week about the tariffs. And Bessant says we're probably going to see another extension past the 90-day deadline. We are now governing by Trump chickening out and running the country off of imposing and then pausing tariffs ad infinitum, as the kids like to say. Take a listen to this.
He gave an answer that was frankly all over the place and difficult to understand. We're less than a month away from Liberation Day Part 2. Very few of the trade deals have been announced yet. I think most people in Congress and around the world would like to know what's going on. Should America be preparing for Liberation Day 2.0? What do we plan for July 9th and July 2nd?
I would say, as I have repeatedly said, that there are 18 important trading partners. We are working toward deals on those, and it is highly likely that those countries that are trading blocs, as in the case of the EU, who are negotiating in good faith, we will roll the date forward to continue good faith negotiations. If someone is not negotiating, then we will not.
I'm hearing that Trump does always chicken out. 90 deals in 90 days. We're still waiting on one damn deal in 130 or something days. And the country is running right now off of a series of repeated pauses of tariffs. And we still don't have any real durable deals. Now, one funny moment, Congressman Gomez sort of brought up Elon Musk body checking Bessant. And Bessant just kind of played it like, oh, some of the reporting on this hasn't been right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, how are you doing?
So far, so good.
Okay, I was just curious because I know Elon Musk body checked you at the White House. I just no animosity to Elon Musk, right?
You know that?
That's what I heard.
So you believe
That's what I heard.
You believe what you read on Breitbart is
well,
what
listen,
you're telling us, Congressman.
I didn't know if it was too sensitive for you. I won't ask that question, but let me move on.
I will take South Carolina over South Africa any day.
Wow. Wow. Shots fired there by Bessant. And then maybe more substantively and just as terrifying, Congressman Beyer asks about economic data and GDP data. And Bessant doesn't seem to acknowledge reality, that GDP was down in Q1 and it may be down in Q2. We don't yet know.
Markets have reacted positively is when the administration is in retreat from key policy areas. I want to say, given your successful past, isn't this embarrassing?
Is there a question there, sir?
There's a question. Isn't this embarrassing?
Oh, is it embarrassing? Well, I'm sorry, Congressman, but you seem not to have seen the economic data. The GDP growth has been quite substantial. Job growth is solid.
GDP growth is half what it was last year, sir.
The job growth is solid, and we had
job growth is a third what it was all last year, sir.
No. And private sector job growth especially. And if you'd like to talk about inflation, would you?
The inflation has been coming down. Just the inflation is good so far. We will see every economic thing I read, which is much every day, suggests the impact of the tariffs is not hit yet.
Well, why don't we look at the data rather than the hysteria, which is how I made my career.
And of course, not acknowledging that GDP is down and it may be further down. One of the really important takeaways, I think, is I really, with this economic data stuff, try to abstract myself from the politics of it. Let's think about who can give us information that we can count on. CBO in terms of scoring tax bills or whatever the case may be. And let's go to the primary data. And we can then ask the political questions. What policies led to this? Or what sort of economic ideology is wrapped up in the White House right now that could either help or hurt this? We do all that stuff. But we start with the numbers. And the numbers are GDP growth was negative in Q1. And in about 5 weeks, we're going to know the outcome for GDP for Q2. And it just feels painfully dumb to not even start with the facts. But that's where we are right now. You know, every time we call out Donald Trump's authoritarianism, the right calls it media hysteria. But I want to remind you that Trump admits he's looking for ways to defy the Constitution and maybe even pursue another term. Now, if you don't know the bias behind your news, you might believe, oh, Trump's just teasing us. There's nothing here. Go to ground.news/Pacman and see how media bias influences more than your perception from Trump's policy and ability to understand and undermine constitutional norms. I've been with Ground News for years now because this is what they do. They expose the hidden agendas behind reporting sources and make it easy to compare coverage and understand critical issues. Even better, if I'm reading a story on another site, the Ground News browser extension will flag the source's political bias and give me other reports on the same story so I can verify the information. My viewers get 40% off the same unlimited Vantage plan that I use, so you get their top tier plan for just $5 a month. Go to ground.news/Pacman. The link is in the description, or scan the QR code.